Best-selling author and Middle East expert Joel Rosenberg is launching two news websites, All Israel News and All Arab News. He and his colleague Halil Saeg, senior correspondent for All Arab News, told CBN News why these websites are important at this time in the Middle East.
We're excited about the launch of these two new websites, All Israel News and All Arab News, because I think that there's a gap in coverage right now in the Middle East. There's not a website, or in this case two, that create a one-stop shopping for all the interesting news, credible, important, controversial news that's already being reported in the region, along with original reporting, exclusive interviews, even polling. And, you know, CBN News does a great job, but not everybody knows that there's other things like in the Jerusalem Post and the Times of Israel and in Arab papers. And so most Christians don't have time to go sifting through 20 Israeli news sites, 20 or 30 Arab news sites, in addition to CBN News and others, and say, what are the main stories? What's driving the agenda? What should I know about? And how can I be more informed so I can pray for the people of the region, for the church in the region? And so All Israel News and All Arab News is designed to link to all the most interesting stories, but also provide original content. Now, why two? Why All Israel News and All Arab News? As I've been traveling around building relationships with Arab Muslim leaders, also Arab Christian leaders, and others in the region, many of them are not quite ready to be interviewed, quoted, or profiled on a site called All Israel News. They're just not there yet. Maybe the United Arab Emirates is closer, but most people are not. And Arab Christians particularly struggle because it's hard enough to be a follower of Jesus in the region. To be seen as maybe supportive of Israel in some way is a bridge too far. So we basically created two sites. They'll be cross-linked. So big stories on one will be cross-linked to the other. But our Arab Muslim and Arab Christian friends and others in the region can be quoted and profiled and interviewed on the All Arab News site.
All Arab News is a news website that does interviews, write original articles and stories about the Middle East and the Arab world. The Arab world and the Middle East is really such a rich region with its history, culture, and even its politics. And we are witnessing that there is a growing interest in the evangelical community around the globe on this particular region. So we want to provide an interesting interviews, relevant stories and news that will link from other websites. So it would be just a place for an evangelical Christian to get his news, opinions, about the Middle East and the region. So in particular, we would like to reach our fellow evangelical Christians around the world, but not exclusively these people. We would like to reach Muslims, Jews, and people who are around the globe who have interest of the Middle East, its culture, history, and current political events. My perspective as a Palestinian evangelical Christian would be unique for a lot of people. It would be different from many voices you hear in the mainstream media because not a lot of news sites are interested in hearing a minority's perspective. But we would like to bring these perspectives to the world.